Well, you join me on a little drive to a small town called Horseshoe Bend. This is just about an hour outside of town, up a hill, and then down a hill. For most of us, the town of Horseshoe Bend is simply a drive-through that slows us down on our way to Donnelly or McCall. But I think it's a perfect place to continue our scout of these small towns of Idaho for the original Idaho project, which I haven't quite settled on that name. It's still up in the air a little bit. Might change it. It also is evolving a little bit in the back of my mind, since I feel like there's a lot of street photography happening and not enough nature photography. And Idaho, if you didn't know, is like 90% national forest and wilderness. So yeah, I really should probably focus on that for this project when you think about it. The plan is pretty simple today. We've got about 2 hours before sunset. We're gonna just find some nice shots, and I really want to test out the 4x5 adapter I bought along with this Nikon. So which one's the camera?
This one.
That's right. You want some lemon water?
Is that cold?
It is cold. What color is it, do you think?
Black and yellow.
Well, let's find out. You know what's special about this camera? This is a camera that I bought and then returned, and then bought and then returned, and then bought again. And this time I'm keeping it. That's what's special about this camera. And before you say anything, Brian, about me just burning through cameras faster than anybody, you're right. I am totally guilty of that right now. Why? Usually at the end of a photo shoot, after I've finished kind of editing and going through all my photos, I like to show my wife, and I like to ask her what she thinks. And recently, I got to show her almost all of the photos I took while scouting, and she took a look at them and went, "Yeah, these are pretty good. I think you need a new camera." Her issue with these photos had nothing to do with the camera itself, had nothing to do with resolution, with dynamic range, or sharpness and detail. It all had to do with perspective distortion. So let's say you want to take a photo of this train here. This is the Idaho Northern and Pacific Railway. I'm pretty sure they turned this into like a cafe. I forget, it's like got a bunch of tables around it and chairs and stuff. But let's say you want to take a picture of this and you want to take it from a low vantage point so you can get this like nice scale of what it is. And it might look something like this. Nice and wide and nice and cool. Nothing wrong with that photo. But because of that vantage point, because we're pointing up towards our subject, we lose our parallel lines. Everything is pointing upward towards a vanishing point up towards the sky. Artists deal with this all the time. If you want to make it look like something is large, you make it shrink as it gets higher. And that's what my wife is talking about. Is there a way to photograph using a digital camera like this one here, the Nikon Z8, where you get those parallel lines preserved? And there is. You have to have your camera perfectly level, both horizontal and vertical, and then all of your parallel lines stay parallel. All of your up, down, side to side stay perfectly parallel. But this is a difficult thing to accomplish when you're dealing with different photos of different buildings, of different heights and different distances, which is where view cameras and large format photography shines. Using those cameras, you can basically get parallel lines and perpendicular lines no matter where you are, and you can move the front standard into a place where you get those perfect lines.
You guys love that, right?
Why?
You guys love that.
I do love this. You know why?
Why?
I'm going to be able to attach my camera to my large format view camera. So we'll be testing that.
I'm cleaning.
Nice. It did need some cleaning. And that's it. And that's the end of the I don't know how to speak. How do you say it? And say that's the end of the segment.
Segment.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, can we play?
Yeah, let's go play. Okay, let's see, let's check out this adapter. So I just want to bring you in closer to this and just show you kind of how it works. So this is your lens adapter. This is where you lock it in there. You loosen this screw. You can slide it back and forth to kind of capture it. Flip it upside down. Do that. You can also do this in a vertical way. There are some issues that I have though. First of all, you have all these grid patterns of suggested framing, and it tells you kind of the resolution that you might wind up with, or at least the size of the image equivalent to like a film photo. So like the one I've been shooting is the 90 by 44, which cropped down nicely. It's pretty close to like a 6 by 12, but the problem is these other ones, they require you to rotate the actual camera to a vertical position, and it's impossible. I cannot figure out how to get this to rotate the barrel itself. So I don't even know why these are on here. So really the only ones I've been able to use are these two on this side, which require your camera to be in kind of a horizontal position. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe this used to have it and they just reprinted it, but the one that is the closest to a 4x5, the largest, impossible. So I don't know. It's not necessarily here to replace any of the film photography, but it does give me more options to shoot when I've got my digital camera and I want to bring this giant thing in order to get perfectly parallel lines and have that front standard movement and different back standard shifts and all kinds of cool things that anything a large format camera can give you. Saves me on film too while I'm kind of learning and experimenting with different ways of shooting. Fun to mess around with. Again, doesn't replace film, but it certainly gives me a better panoramic on any kind of digital camera. Now, maybe the biggest downside to my current setup is that the only lens I have for my large format is a 180 millimeters, which is a really long lens, especially on full frame terms. I'm gonna have to stand really far away and just kind of hope that it's the right view. The other thing to consider is that this system forces your camera to sit further back from the film plane, so focus gets thrown off. If you focus on your ground glass, you're going to have to do a lot of refocusing. So I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to just stick the camera on there and use that to check field of view and focus. So I can just take the ground glass off, stick that right in there. So this is it. This is the adapter. This is the Fotodiox. It's called the Stretch. It's a 4x5 adapter. It will fit on any kind of graph lock back. It's got the locking ridge right there. Just place it in there till it locks. And like any adapter, you stick it on there. And then you take your camera, stick it into manual mode, remove the lens, and I should have brought the lens cap. Stick it in here carefully. Just gotta stick it on here. Just like that. You can see I have my live view. Everything is manual. ISO is manual. Shutter speed is manual. I'm going to focus using the view back. You can see. Well, hopefully you could see. Check focus. Now, this is again where the fine movement comes in. So right now, I'm pointing pretty much at the ground. All I have to do is lift this up, and then suddenly I've got the view that I want, which is the hillside above. And Fotodiox recommends loosening this up, sliding it from side to side, just to see. Oh, okay, to take a picture. What you're going to have in focus and in the frame and what you're not. But hopefully you can see the full picture. We got the corner of the stop taking pictures. And all the way to the end of the shed. Close my aperture to f16. Okay, we got a 2-second timer. Now we slide it to the next dot over. And then the final dot. What they say to do next is to flip it upside down and repeat the process all over again. So without moving my camera, wait, not that way, leave that locked. Take the whole film back, flip it upside down, and repeat the process. There's our photo. Is all this worth it? I don't know. Maybe not. It's more fun to shoot film, but it's fun to mess around with. It gives me instant feedback. I don't see any harm in it, especially because now I've got this big panoramic that actually has a flat plane instead of doing a spinning panoramic, which I like a lot better. And as far as a view, I'm going to stand in the same spot, take the same photo with roughly the same field of view, cropped in, which I think was about like that. And we're just going to kind of see. We're going to see how they compare. We're going to see how the digital photo, if it distorts our background anymore, than our film back does. Or not film back. We're going to see how the digital photo compares to the large format stitch. Let's take a couple more. This one I have to kind of hurry with because I don't want the sun to get below the roof. Starting in the bottom left corner, which is the top right corner in the actual frame. Very high contrast scene. I think if it turns out well, it's going to turn out real well. Trying to understand what this thing is. It's like an old piano. What is this? Yet this is original Idaho stuff. Cool. Kind of thinking another shot through that window using the large format, like the adapter, try to get like sweeping vista right here. That might be cool. Let's try it. I think it could. fast. The biggest reason I think I chose the Z8 over something like the Z6 or Z7 Mark III is the shutter protector, or the I guess it's a sensor protector. The fact that this has it. Here we go. Settings are ISO 200, 1/60th. Aperture was at f8. Phew. And just like before, I'll take the photo using just the digital so we can compare at around a 50 millimeter. I think with that, the sun is officially out of view. Still nice. Get some nice photos, golden hour. But I think I'm going to put the large format away, get that back in the car, because I don't know, it's just it's a lot of setup. I so prefer photography like that. Stuff that's incidental, stuff that you couldn't have predicted. I didn't know this train was here. I mean, I had no idea that this would be such a cool subject to focus on. And yet here we are. I spent my entire evening taking pictures of that old train, which I don't even know what it is. It's got like a cash register on the inside. There's like a whole parking area out here, which is blocked off. And there's a whole bunch of tables. I'm pretty sure it must have been like a cafe or something. That's the only explanation I can give, because it kind of looks like it could have been. So cool. Such a good subject, such an interesting test, and a really good example of original Idaho. A lot of this landscape was carved by railway. So, who knows? Maybe that's where the project will take me. Maybe I'll just follow the railroads that carve through the landscapes. But yeah, good stuff. Really enjoying this, having a project to work on.